He walked into the room like he owned it, dressed in torn jeans and a simple t-shirt, hair disheveled, looking like he hadn't slept in days. The CEO's face twisted with disgust as he looked this stranger up and down. "I don't have time for beggars today," he sneered, not even bothering to hide his contempt. What happened next changed everything. The room fell silent as the shabby-looking man pulled out his phone, made one call, and within seconds the CEO's assistant burst into the room, face pale. "Sir, he just bought controlling shares in your company." The look on the CEO's face was priceless, a mixture of horror and disbelief as he realized he'd just insulted one of the wealthiest men in the country. But that wasn't even the most shocking part. What the CEO didn't know was that this wasn't just any wealthy investor. This was Mr. Millionaire, the vigilante of wealth who had been testing him all along. And now, the CEO was about to learn the most expensive lesson of his life, one that would cost him everything he thought he had built. Stay until the end to see the moment this arrogant executive realizes exactly who he's been mocking, and the devastating consequence of his actions. Before we continue with this incredible story, make sure to check the pinned comment or the description of this video to get your copy of The Secret of the Wealthy: 7 Steps to Financial Abundance. This powerful ebook contains the exact mindset principles and practical strategies that have helped countless people transform their financial reality and spiritual well-being. Hey there, welcome back to the MR Millionaire channel. If you're new here, I'm the one who goes undercover to test how people behave when they think no one important is watching. If you enjoy seeing justice served and powerful life lessons being taught, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss a new episode of Social Justice in Action. Let me introduce myself properly for those who don't know me yet. I'm Mr. Millionaire, a successful businessman who decided to use my wealth for something more meaningful than just luxury. After building multiple companies and achieving financial freedom, I realized that money alone doesn't bring fulfillment. Now, I dedicate my life to testing society's elite, salespeople, business owners, executives, security personnel, to see how they treat those they perceive as beneath them. I believe that a person's true character is revealed in how they treat those who can do nothing for them. As I always say, the true wealth is in who you are when nobody's watching. Today's story began when I received multiple reports about Axelrod Industries, a tech company with a CEO who had developed quite a reputation for mistreating employees and business partners. James Axelrod had been featured in business magazines as one of the most successful young entrepreneurs in the country. But behind closed doors, rumors of his abusive behavior were spreading fast. I decided to put him to the test. My team researched his schedule and discovered he would be conducting interviews for a new chief marketing officer position. Perfect opportunity. I arranged to be the last candidate of the day, ensuring he would be tired and more likely to reveal his true colors. I arrived at Axelrod Industries headquarters in downtown Manhattan, dressed nothing like a typical executive. Instead of my usual tailored suit, I wore ripped jeans, an old t-shirt, scuffed shoes, and made sure my hair looked uncombed. I even added some fake stains to my shirt for good measure. The receptionist immediately looked uncomfortable but couldn't turn me away since I was on the appointment list. If you're finding value in this video, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to our channel. Your support allows us to continue creating content that exposes injustice and celebrates those who show kindness regardless of social status. Don't forget to grab your copy of The Secret of the Wealthy: 7 Steps to Financial Abundance from the description or pinned comment. This guide will help you achieve not just financial freedom, but also spiritual growth and mental clarity that will transform every aspect of your life. When I was finally shown into James Axelrod's office on the 35th floor, his reaction was immediate and revealing. He looked up from his desk and the disgust on his face was evident. He didn't even bother to stand up or offer a handshake. "What the hell is this?" he barked at his assistant. "I said I wanted qualified candidates, not homeless people." His assistant looked mortified. "Sir, this is Mr. Johnson, your 4 p.m. appointment." Axelrod scoffed. You expect me to believe this person is qualified to be my CMO? He can't even afford decent clothes. I stood there silently, observing his behavior, giving him every opportunity to correct himself or show even a hint of human decency. "Listen," he said, turning to me. "I do not know how you got past security or convinced my assistant to put you on my calendar, but this interview is not happening. I run a billion-dollar company. We have standards here." I nodded slowly and spoke for the first time. "That's interesting. So in your view, a person's worth is determined by their appearance." This seemed to anger him further. "Don't try to lecture me on business ethics. I built this company from nothing. I employ thousands of people. Who are you? Nobody. And nobodies don't get to waste my time." He pressed a button on his desk. "Security will escort you out. Next time, try applying at McDonald's. They might be more your speed." As we waited for security, I decided to push a little further. "What if I told you I could increase your company's market valuation by 30% in 6 months? He laughed out loud. "With what strategy? Dumpster diving for marketing materials? Please. Digital transformation focused on customer experience metrics rather than acquisition costs," I replied calmly. "Your current strategy is bleeding money on customer acquisition, but your retention rates are abysmal." His face changed slightly. I had hit a nerve. This was information that wasn't public. "How would you know anything about my company's metrics?" he asked, suddenly suspicious. Before I could answer, security arrived. Axelrod stood up, straightening his $5,000 suit. "Remove this person from the building immediately. And Jennifer," he barked at his assistant, "you're fired for allowing this to happen." The poor assistant looked like she might burst into tears. If you're enjoying this shocking encounter, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. I expose situations like this regularly on my channel, and you won't want to miss what happens next in this confrontation. I stood up as the security guards approached. "Before I go, I'd like to leave you with my business card." I reached into my pocket and pulled out not a card, but my phone. "What are you doing?" Axelrod demanded. I dialed a number and put the phone on speaker. "Hello, this is Richard Johnson. Authorization code 774391. I'd like to proceed with purchase plan Axelrod A, effective immediately." The voice on the other end responded professionally. "Confirmed, Mr. Johnson. The transaction will be completed within the next 2 minutes. Current acquisition stands at 51% of outstanding shares." The room fell completely silent. Axelrod's face had drained of all color. "What the hell is going on?" he whispered. I smiled at him. "What's going on is that I just bought controlling interest in your company. You see, I'm not here to interview for a position. I'm here to see if you're worthy of keeping yours." His assistant, who was still in the room, gasped. The security guards looked at each other, uncertain what to do. I continued. "I've been monitoring your company for months, James. Your technology is impressive, but your leadership is toxic. Your employee turnover is 3 times the industry average. Your customer satisfaction scores are plummeting, and the reason is standing right in front of me." "This is impossible," he stuttered. "This must be some kind of joke or scam." At that moment, his phone rang. It was his CFO, confirming that a major stock purchase had just occurred. Axelrod's face went from pale to ashen. "Who are you really?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "If you want to see more videos of powerful people being held accountable for their actions, hit that like button and subscribe to MSAR Millionaire. Every week we bring you new stories of justice being served to those who think their wealth or position puts them above human decency. And don't forget to get your copy of The Secret of the Wealthy from the description or pinned comment. This life-changing guide will help you understand the true nature of wealth and success, focusing not just on financial abundance, but on spiritual growth and personal fulfillment." I removed my disheveled wig, stood up straight, and looked him directly in the eyes. "My name is Richard Johnson. Some know me as Mr. Millionaire. I made my fortune in tech before you were out of college, and now I use my resources to identify and transform toxic business cultures. I find people like you, people who believe that wealth gives them the right to mistreat others." Axelrod sank back into his chair. "I didn't. I was just having a bad day." "No," I interrupted. "I've interviewed 12 of your former employees. I've spoken with your vendors. I've seen the emails you sent threatening people's livelihoods over minor mistakes. This isn't a bad day. This is who you are." I turned to his assistant. "Jennifer, you're not fired. In fact, as the new majority shareholder, I'm giving you a promotion and a 50% raise, effective immediately." She was speechless, tears of relief in her eyes. Turning back to Axelrod, I continued. "As for you, you have 2 options. Option 1, you resign immediately with no severance. Option 2, you undergo a 6-month probation period under my mentorship, during which you'll work at entry-level positions throughout your company, experiencing firsthand how your leadership affects people at every level." "You can't do this," he protested weakly. "This company is my life." "A company is not buildings or products or even profits," I replied. "A company is people, and you've forgotten that. So which will it be? Resignation or redemption?" The silence stretched for what seemed like minutes before he finally spoke. I'll take the probation." I nodded. "Good choice. Your first assignment starts tomorrow. You'll be working in customer service for 2 weeks, handling the complaints that your leadership policies have created. Jennifer will be your supervisor." The look on his face was priceless, a mixture of humiliation and the dawning realization that his world had just been completely upended. As I walked toward the door, I turned back one last time. "Remember, James, the true wealth is in who you are when nobody's watching. I was watching today, and you were bankrupt." If you want to see what happened during James Axelrod's redemption journey and whether he was able to transform into a leader worthy of his position, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. The follow-up to this story will be posted next week, and you won't want to miss it. The following Monday, James reported for his first day of probation at the customer service center. Gone was the tailored suit, replaced by the company's standard customer service uniform. He sat in a small cubicle surrounded by employees who had no idea who he was, a specific condition I had set. His first call came from an irate customer whose product had malfunctioned repeatedly, and who had been given the runaround by the company's intentionally complicated return policy. A policy James himself had implemented to reduce returns and save money. "This is the 4th time I've called," the customer shouted. "I just want what I paid for to work properly." James began to respond with the scripted denial he had approved for his staff to use, but then stopped himself. For the first time, he was on the receiving end of the frustration his policies had created. Instead, he authorized a full refund and a replacement product, breaking his own protocols. By the end of the first day, he had handled 47 calls, each one a direct result of decisions he had made in the boardroom without considering their human impact. His hands were shaking when he left the office. Week after week, I moved him through different departments, from the warehouse where workers were denied adequate breaks, to the sales floor where staff were pressured to use deceptive tactics to secure deals, to the R&D department where brilliant ideas were squashed for not promising immediate returns. If you're finding value in these real-life lessons about leadership and humanity, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue our mission of promoting ethical business practices and human dignity in the corporate world. Also, don't miss your opportunity to get our comprehensive guide, The Secret of the Wealthy: 7 Steps to Financial Abundance, from the description or pinned comment. This resource will help you align your financial goals with your spiritual growth, creating true and lasting abundance in all areas of your life. 3 months into his probation, I met with James for our weekly check-in. The change in him was becoming evident. The arrogance was fading, replaced by a growing awareness of the impact his leadership had on real people's lives. I had no idea he admitted. I was so focused on quarterly reports and stock prices that I completely lost sight of what actually makes the business work: the people. That's precisely the problem with much of today's corporate leadership, I told him. They forget that balance sheets and profit margins are just tools to measure one aspect of success. But a truly successful company creates value not just for shareholders, but for employees, customers, and society as a whole. By month 5, James had completely transformed the company's customer service policies, improved working conditions in the warehouse, and initiated an employee feedback program that directly influenced executive decisions. Employee turnover had already decreased by 15%, and customer satisfaction scores were climbing. On the final day of his probation, I called James to my office. He entered with a humility that would have been unimaginable 6 months earlier. "You've made remarkable progress," I told him. "The question now is whether you've truly changed, or if you've just been playing along until you can regain control." James nodded thoughtfully. "A fair question. 6 months ago, I would have done anything to keep my position, including pretending to change. But somewhere along the way, something shifted. I realized that the company wasn't just mine. It belonged to everyone who worked there, to the customers who trusted our products, even to the communities where we operate. My job isn't to rule over all that, but to be its steward." I studied him carefully, looking for any sign of insincerity. "And what would you do differently if I returned operational control to you?" Without hesitation, he outlined a plan that included profit sharing for employees, sustainable manufacturing practices, and transparent communication at all levels of the company. But most importantly, he proposed regular periods where executives would work alongside frontline employees to maintain their connection to the human impact of their decisions. I smiled and stood up. "Congratulations, James. The company is yours to lead again, not to own or control, but to guide with wisdom and compassion." As he shook my hand, tears in his eyes, I reminded him one last time. "Remember, the true wealth is in who you are when nobody's watching. I won't be watching anymore, but your employees, your customers, and your own conscience will be." Today, Axelrod Industries is regularly rated among the best places to work in America. Their products are known not just for innovation, but for exceptional quality and customer support. And James Axelrod has become an advocate for compassionate capitalism, speaking at conferences about his transformation from toxic leader to servant leader. As for me, Mr. Millionaire, I continue my work, testing the character of those who hold power and privilege in our society. Sometimes I find the worst of humanity: greed, arrogance, cruelty. But other times I discover genuine kindness, integrity, and compassion in the most unexpected places. If this story touched you or made you think differently about wealth and leadership, please subscribe to my channel for more real-life tests and transformations. Hit that like button to help spread these important messages to others who might benefit from them. And don't forget to get your copy of The Secret of the Wealthy: 7 Steps to Financial Abundance from the description or pinned comment. This isn't just about financial success, but about creating a life of purpose, meaning, and true abundance in all dimensions: physical, mental, and spiritual. Remember, in a world obsessed with appearances and status, the most important question isn't how much you have, but who you are when no one of importance is watching. That's where your true wealth and your true poverty will be revealed. Until next time, this is Mr. Millionaire, reminding you that the true wealth is in who you are when nobody's watching.